Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Science with me, Mr. Fitri. Today and tomorrow, we are going to focus on biomass and geothermal energy. For today's class, we're going to focus on the first two objectives. What is biomass, and how does biomass affect the environment? We're going to focus on geothermal energy in the next class. So, what is biomass? Well, biomass is any organic material that can be used as an energy source. Now, think back. We've talked about organic substances before. What's organic? Do you remember? If you said it's anything that comes from living matter, you would be correct. So a couple examples of biomass are wood. Okay? We can burn wood for energy, right? Keep our homes warm, cook food, etc. Crops, okay? What's left over after we harvest crops? Like the picture there's corn husks, okay? Or maybe rice stalks or sugarcane stalks, okay? We can use that, burn it perhaps, to create energy. Seaweed, same thing. And animal waste. What do I mean by animal waste? Yep, I mean animal poo. All right, that can be used and is used in various parts of the world as an energy source. Now let's focus in a little bit more on biomass itself and how it comes about. Well, a critical component of biomass is photosynthesis, It's photosynthesis, as I stumble over the word. Photosynthesis provides all organic matter energy from the sun. Okay? So, everything that is organic gets some of its energy from the sun. How does this work? Well, let me put up a little chart here, all right? So, sunlight, or radiant energy, gives plants energy to change water and carbon dioxide into oxygen and sugars, okay? So, a plant, say a flower, or a tree, or a vegetable, anything that is growing is taking in sunlight, it's taking in carbon dioxide, and of course, it's taking in water. Now, the plant is going to, as it grows, it's going to change that into carbohydrates, all right? So these sugars are called carbohydrates, and they supply plants with energy, chemical energy, okay? And through this whole process as well, plants are producing oxygen. Now, these carbohydrates are critical for not only the plant, the environment, but also us, okay? Because food with a lot of carbohydrates is a good source of energy for us, for humans, all right? So, I want you to think about this for a moment, okay? A plant with more carbohydrates has more chemical energy. When we eat that plant, that chemical energy gives us energy to function, to live, okay? just one little other chart here, all right? If we think about it this way, we're combining sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. Through the process of photosynthesis, we get glucose or sugar or carbohydrates, okay, and oxygen. So plants are doing a lot for us, okay, keeping us alive in terms of food, but also oxygen. Now, another piece of biomass is solid waste, all right? So think about solid waste as trash, okay, which we see in the picture there. So burning trash turns this solid waste into a usable form of energy. As an example, 1 ton or 900 kilograms of garbage contains as much heat energy as 500 pounds or 225 kilograms of coal. Okay, so burning a ton of trash is equal to burning 500 pounds of coal. Now, when solid waste is burned, that heat energy turns a turbine and a generator to produce electricity. The same process we've talked about again and again and again. All right? So this is one of our waste energy plants, okay? We take the trash in, it is burned. That heat energy, of course, turns water or a fluid into steam, which turns a turbine, which spins a generator, which creates electricity, okay? And the byproducts are then used, okay? But we won't get into that, all right? We're not, we have a possible way of using what is left over from that burnt trash to produce other things, perhaps. Okay? But that's a side note. The one thing we need to understand about solid waste, though, is that not all trash is biomass, okay? So not all trash comes from food waste or crop waste or animal waste. Almost half of the energy content of solid waste comes from plastics, okay? And we know that plastics come from petroleum and natural gas. So half, or almost half of biomass comes from non-renewable energy sources, petroleum and natural gas, which also contain a lot of pollutants, okay? I'm sure if you watch the news, you see and you know that plastic waste is a huge problem, all right? And I hope this is something we can get into later on. Now, biomass, solid waste, and the environment. So you got a little bit of what we call a mixed bag here. In that, by burning solid waste, we reduce the amount of trash that goes to the landfills. All right, so that's good in a way, all right, less trash in the landfills, but we are burning that solid waste, which we know half of is from non-renewable energy sources, petroleum and natural gas. So it's both a good thing and a bad thing. But the second thing is that the trash that does go to a landfill contains energy that goes unused. So if we throw away vegetable products, maybe some food that we didn't use, or the pieces of food that you don't cook or eat, all right? Or let's say a broken chair. Okay, that goes to the landfill, but both of those, the food waste or the broken chair, contain energy. And if it goes to the landfill, it doesn't get used. But it also doesn't get burnt, producing pollutants. So again, we've got this mixed bag. Furthermore, the decaying organic material produces methane gas, which is even worse for the environment than carbon dioxide. Okay, so remember, as organic materials break down, they produce methane gas. And that's even worse for the environment. So if it goes to the landfill, it's going to produce methane gas. If it goes to a plant to be burnt, it's going to produce other pollutants, but less harmful pollutants. So again, biomass has good elements and bad elements contained within. And we have to weigh them like a scale, right? Which is better and which is worse. And, which is the best solution for our trash and for producing energy. And I can't say that I have a specific answer for you, and I think it comes down to each city perhaps, or each country, or each local group. Now, on the flip side here, burning biomass produces little sulfur and nitrogen pollution, but it does produce carbon dioxide pollution. However, growing plants for use as biomass, say growing trees or growing crops, if we grow these as a biomass fuel, it may also balance the carbon dioxide levels because plants remove carbon dioxide as they grow. So again, you've got this scale, okay? Yeah, if we say burn wood to produce energy, that is producing some pollution, okay, specifically carbon dioxide. But if we grow trees to use as biomass, throughout the life of those trees, they are absorbing carbon dioxide to grow, taking it out of the atmosphere, and at the same time producing oxygen. So again, we get back to this problem where biomass has good elements and it has bad elements, and we have to figure out which is best. So I hope that I did a good job of describing what biomass is. Again, it's anything that comes from organic material. And I hope I did a good job of explaining how biomass affects the environment. Okay? There are good elements and there are bad elements to biomass. And it's the job of society to determine which option or which road is best to take. Okay? So, next class we will continue with geothermal energy, completing that worksheet. And then I hope that we can look at this as we move forward with our project to see how you may want to interpret this information going forward. So, thank you and have a good day.